Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I'm going to be telling you all about my experience with the new What's Up Beauty Geodes palette. This was released a couple of months ago at this point, and I've actually had this in my hands for a few weeks now. So I've given it a lot of love and attention, and I have come to a lot of conclusions about how I feel about this palette. Before I get into it, if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos, welcome. I am so excited that you decided to join us. I do tons of project painting and beauty content in general, so if that is something that you are into, you are in the right place. And for all of my returning friends, welcome back. I love all of your faces, and I am so happy you are here and that you are curious about this palette right here. So if you have never heard of What's Up Beauty, they are an indie brand that is based in the United States. They're out of Arizona. They have a lot of different stuff on their website. I'll be honest, I had not heard of this brand prior to the launch of the Geodes palette, and I was really quite surprised when I went onto their website. They have brushes, they have nail polishes, and they have a couple of eyeshadow palettes. They also have, I believe, one brick and mortar store in Chandler, Arizona. I will make sure to put all of their information in the description box below, website address, all that kind of good stuff. So if you are ever in the area, you can definitely go check them out, or you can certainly visit their website. You guys know I love supporting indie brands and I love discovering new indie brands. So when I saw this, I was super excited. So what does this palette get you? So this has a beautiful mix of mattes and these incredibly sparkly, shimmery duochrome shadows, which you guys know my heart and soul belongs to duochromes and multichromes. I love them with a passion. So this is a good mix of different finishes. This palette does retail for $41. What that gets you is this beautiful cardboard packaging. The actual box that it comes in looks very similar, but this is a cardboard box. It is really, really pretty. I love this detailing right here that looks like the cross section of an actual geode. It does have a magnetic closure. And it's a good strong one, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel like it's going to just flop open, which I'm not gonna lie is nice, especially if you plan on doing any kind of traveling with this beautiful, nice, slim packaging. I feel like it would be really, really good for that. But in here, you get mostly the shimmers, but you do get some really important solid mattes. So in this palette, you do have 5 mattes, and I feel like they are really well thought out. They aren't too light, but they aren't too deep. However, they do offer a good variety in tone and depth, allowing you to put together some really cohesive looks with this palette. Let me go ahead and insert some swatches of this palette, and then I'm going to show you 2 looks that I created with this palette, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about all of my thoughts. right, so those were two of the many looks that I have created using this Geodes palette. In fact, I am wearing it today. I just wasn't able to film this look. I created it using a little bit of rock through my crease. I deepened up my outer corners with Terra, and then I have a combination of Earthlike and Amethyst all over my lid, and I love it. I think it looks absolutely stunning. It really does. So let's talk about my overall feelings regarding this palette here, because I have kind of a complicated relationship with it. So let's first start talking about the mattes. I really enjoy this matte formula. I think that it goes on with nice pigmentation without being overly pigmented. It is definitely a buildable formula, and it is one that plays really nicely with the other mattes in the palette without going muddy, which I love. I absolutely love that. I also really love the color choices that were made for the mattes in this palette. I feel like they do a beautiful job of really supporting and building looks so that the shimmers can really shine. I love the fact that they are not too warm, they're not too cool. They really run that fine line of being perfectly neutral, and I find that to be such a strong attribute to this palette because it just allows you to build and create a beautiful foundation so that these shimmers can really just stand out and shine. I think that was really, really well done. I can't think of anything that I would change from a matte perspective about this. I think the only thing that I would say is that rock and redondite, did I say that right? Yeah, redondite are very similar. They just have slightly different tones to them. I think the only thing that I would say is if they maybe leaned a little bit more away from each other, in the sense that, you know, with redondite, I wish that it leaned just a little bit more on that rosy purpley side, and that rock would have leaned just a little bit more towards that sort of grayish side. But overall, I think they're all really, really nice, and they do a really, really nice job. But let's talk about the shimmers, because in many ways, those are truly the star of the show, but they're also the shadows that I find myself struggling just a little bit with. Now, just be aware, everything I'm about to say is personal preference only. I am the kind of person that I prefer using brushes to apply my eye makeup. What I will typically do is I will put a little bit of glitter glue onto a flat packing brush. I will use that to sort of shear that out, and then take that sticky brush into the shimmer and apply the shimmer over that sticky base. And for the majority of the eyeshadows that I have in my collection, that works really well. It doesn't work with this though. I have very difficult time trying to pick up these shimmers on a brush no matter what I do. And for me, that's a little bit frustrating because it means that I have to go in with my fingers, which again is just not my preferred method. I find that for me personally, I don't have as much control when using my fingers as I do with a brush. I also find that I sometimes have to be a little bit careful that I don't apply too much of some of these shimmers, because the way that they kind of layer on top of each other can look a little bit textured on my already textured eyes. So just be aware of that as well. However, I have created some amazingly beautiful looks with this palette. In fact, the looks that I create with this palette are the kind that anytime I pass by a mirror, I have to stop and just admire the sparkle. It is so mesmerizing. I have absolutely loved every single look that I've created with this palette, whether it has been a little bit challenging in the application or not. I love every single look. And so that's why I say I've got a bit of a complicated relationship with this palette, because I personally don't love the application method. However, I absolutely love the way that it turns out. So overall, would I say, is this worth $41? And yes, I do. I think that this is $41 well spent. I think that the price point is very fair for what you're getting. You're getting a lot of really nice duochrome sparkly shimmer shadows in this palette. and I think $41 is right on par with what I would expect to see from this type of palette and this type of breakdown, and I'm very happy that I have it. I am very interested to see what they continue to come out with. I was so surprised when I was on their website because I'll be honest, until I started seeing promo for this palette, I hadn't heard of What's Up Beauty. And so when I went onto their website and I saw all of the things that they had on there, I was really surprised. They've got brushes, they've got nail polishes. In fact, they released an entire range of nail polishes that match all of the shimmers in this palette. And I feel like that is such a genius thing to do. I wish that I would have picked up a couple of the nail polishes, but your girl only has so much money to play with. So I decided not to go with any of the nail polishes, but I really wish that I had because they all looked so pretty. And I love the idea of being able to match my nail polish to my eyeshadow because that's just, you know, it's a fun idea. So they've got a ton of stuff on their website. If you haven't checked them out, again, I totally recommend giving them a look, especially if you're like me and you love supporting indie brands. I would definitely check them out. And they are now very firmly on my radar. I'm interested to see what they come out in the future. And I want to hear what you think. Have you picked up this palette and what are your thoughts? Are we in love? Let me know. As always, everything that I'm wearing is going to be linked in the description box below, and if you have not yet subscribed, I hope that you'll consider doing so. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, what do you have there?
Makeup.
Wow, we got bold and bought foundation. Come here. What did you buy for me?
Makeup.
Here, look at that.
It has myself.
Yeah, so what did you buy for me?
A makeup.
Yeah?
You're a makeup star.
Oh, you are so sweet. You are so sweet.